All right, so good morning, Landed for Success. Morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are. What's really neat is as we grow here at Landed for Success, it seems like we're growing globally. You know, we have folks joining us from Brazil, from Spain, from the UK, obviously here at home and all around the world. So I want to thank everyone here at Landed for Success uh, for being part of this community. And if you're perhaps joining us for the very first time for one of our live interviews, do me a favor, maybe in the comment, just type a one in the comment so we can actually acknowledge you for being here. And, you know, if you're comfortable, maybe even type in the city or the country you're from. Okay. And if you have any questions for our special guest, please type them in the comment and we will obviously do our best to try to answer some of your questions. If not, I'll promise you, she will come back afterwards and try to help answer any questions that you may have. So let's jump right into it. I have a very special guest this morning. She's one of our lifetime members here at Landed for Success. When it comes to taxes, I can't think of anyone who knows more about taxes. And we all know that it's not how much money you make, it's how much you keep. But what's really neat is this individual not only knows how to keep more money in your pocket. Family is extremely important to her. You can find out about that. And she absolutely loves to help people. So please help me to welcome my special guest this morning, Kelly Ross. Kelly, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy to be here today.
Kelly, why don't we jump right into it, okay? Can you tell us a little, like, who's Kelly Ross? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Would that be okay?
Of course, of course. So me, I have always been very driven when it comes to work. Anybody who knows me, I've always been very work focused, but at the same time, I'm also mom focused. And I want to be there for my family all the time. So Kelly has pretty much evolved over the years when it comes to her career. And the reason that is because I started out in one of the big four accounting firms. Loved every minute of it, loved the go-getting of it, loved the pace of it, loved the idea of being able to have the variety and help so many different people and learn so much through those years. Then came along Kelly, the mom, who decided to start having some children. And because of that, realized I couldn't continue to do what I love so much. Working for those big four firms. I actually did receive a phone call from one of my daughters when they were very young, who asked me why I didn't want to spend time with them anymore. Totally wrenching, heartbreaking.
That would be, oh, Kelly, that would be.
It was so hard. And you know what, but you know what, I thank her for that, because that was my wake up call.
Yeah. How old was she at the time? Would you mind if I ask?
She was, I think she was about 2.5 when she did that.
2.5, right?
Yeah, because I said goodnight to her for the third time in a row on the phone.
2.5. You know, Kelly, a friend of mine, Sam Crowley, has a podcast called Every Day Saturday. And he was in the corporate world, and his daughter would say, Daddy, when are you going to be home? And he would always say, Saturday. And the reason I want to share the story with you, Madeline was about 3 years old at the time, but she just got her driver's license about a year ago. So she's, right, so she's now a teenager, but he eventually quit his corporate job and started a podcast that now has over 20 million downloads.
Wow.
And guess what the name of the show is? Every Day is Saturday.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, and I can totally relate because I was there. I was there. And around that time when she had done that call to me, I really did reevaluate everything. And I said, you know what can I do I've got to obviously wake up and do something to be there for the kids and figure out a way I can make this work while not losing myself in the process. And that's actually when I decided it was time for me to start thinking about the future where I could still do the things I love, but do it on my terms and on my timelines and to still be there for the kids. And that's actually why I went off on my own to run my own business and still do the things that I love to do through the large firm, but now on my terms and where I have flexibility and I could work around the kids' schedules.
Wow, that's amazing. Wow. Yeah. Wow. So fast forward to today, you're a CPA.
Yes.
What inspired you? Would you mind if I ask, what inspired you to become an accountant?
Well, my mom was actually always in the accounting field. I would say I was kind of born into it, you could say. So,
Right?
so my mom did work in industry, and I've always had a knack for numbers. It's something I've always been good at, and I've always enjoyed working with. You ask me when it comes to the numbers, that's something I can recollect anytime. You ask me something else, and I'll probably forget it. My kids will say that to me all the time. Mom, you forgot to do that. I'm like, I know. Put some numbers in there, and Mom will remember. Right?
That's incredible.
Yeah. So my mom was around that. My sister's actually in that realm as well. It's just something that's always come to me very easily, and something I've always
Yes,
really enjoyed.
that's amazing.
Yeah, and I was lucky. I say the career actually found me because for me to start working out in the firms downtown, I actually started off in an administrative role covering a maternity leave, and the national
Wow.
part at that point saw a lot of promise in me, and he gave me a shot.
Wow,
Um,
that's incredible. Incredible.
yeah,
Kelly, I wanted to thank some of the folks who are watching right now. You have some incredible super moms in here as well. Annalisa, thank you. Allie is here. Sharon is here. And a good friend of mine, you've got someone here, Kelly, from Phoenix, Arizona.
wow,
Because I know your firm helps U.S. clients as well.
we
And
do.
Lester, please reach out. I think Annalise would be amazing. I mean, talk about vibration, right? Napoleon Hill talks about things happen for a
Yes,
reason. Kelly, remember I mentioned to you a friend of mine in the U.S., former police officer, protected several U.S. presidents, and has a company called RevShare Films.
yes,
Because
yes,
you have clients in the arts and entertainment industry. Well, that's Lester Bailey. So Lester
yes.
Bailey happens to be watching right now. So Lester, please connect with Kelly. And for anybody who's watching, this is Kelly Ross, who's a CPA, one of our lifetime members, and we're so glad to have you here, Kelly, because I know you're busy. You have a busy practice. You've got your family. I'm jealous. Like my kids are older now, and you mentioned you're like at the rink all the time. And wow, wow. Let's talk a little bit about that later. But I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I did want to thank some of the folks here, and please reach out to Kelly. Like if you have any tax questions, she's the perfect person to ask.
Yeah, no, I'd love to help out. It's one of the reasons why I did open up my own firm, because I do love helping people. It's funny because even through COVID, my youngest daughter knows how I am. When I'm feeling down, the
Yeah.
first thing I do is look for a way to help somebody. And then it perks me up and it makes me feel better. So I actually even did these sporadic little drop-offs of gifts to people, and they wouldn't even know that it was from me. So I would
You're
have
like
them,
little
and
Santa, right? Not Christmas, but you're Santa dropping off little gifts and run. That's
yeah,
amazing.
and then I'd run off back to my car, and I'd actually try so hard for them not to see me, because it wasn't about getting the recognition for it. It was about trying to bring a little joy into somebody's day, and I would get joy out of that too. So I try to bring a lot of that into my practice as well, and try to help people as much as I possibly can, because I get probably sometimes even more joy than my clients out of all of their successes. Like I'm there celebrating with them. I love it. I love to be involved every step of the way.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that, I know we're all in business to make money,
Yeah.
especially with what we come through out of COVID, right? Like how many
Mm-hmm.
people use more joy
Yes.
in their lives right now?
Yeah, a lot of people, like honestly, I gotta say this was the past year and a half was really tough to watch a lot of things that people went through. Uh, People who had worked so hard
Yes.
and were starting to lose so much,
Yeah.
that literally I say, you know what, it was the busiest a year and a half, not even necessarily from the amount of clients that I necessarily had, but it was from the amount of time. I would say every time Justin Trudeau would open his mouth on those mornings,
Yeah.
the rest of my day was shot.
Oh
From
man.
that time until the rest of the day, everything I planned to do for that day was gone, because
Yeah.
my phone would start ringing and my emails would start going, and I would jump on trying to find out what the latest was so I could help those people and make sure people had at their fingertips the stuff they needed in order to succeed and to not lose their livelihoods.
Wow, that's incredible. Kelly, I want to thank Ola for being here, and Sharon and Shafika. Man, we've got some incredible super moms on here today. So people losing things during the pandemic. businesses were losing income,
They
revenue.
were.
I mean, you were probably seeing some of that firsthand.
I was seeing a lot of it. So in the beginning, it's funny how things kind of shifted between even just last year and this year, from the different impacts of the way I was involved. In the beginning, it was a lot of scrambling where people were in a panic because all of a sudden it's unexpected hitting them, where they don't know what to do. Where's the money going to come from tomorrow? What am I going to do about my employees? I love my employees. How can I make sure they're okay? But at the same time, I don't have anything to give them. How can I help them? So it was really trying to figure out what programs could work for them. What could they outreach for? What would they be okay with? And one of the biggest things I had to make sure I kept clarifying for people, because it wasn't always very clear when Trudeau would speak, that all these programs he would say, there would be a lot of stipulations for them. And then there would be the big tax impact at the end that nobody would be expecting.
Right? Yeah. Because the money they got, they still had to pay taxes on it, right? So it wasn't like here's your money as a grant. It wasn't a gift.
Right. That's right. All of it was going to be taxable. And that didn't come across very clearly to a lot of people. So there was a lot of that I was trying to clarify on, as well as even when they did withhold a little bit on some of the individual programs like the CRB later on, it was never enough. They only withheld 10%. So if you had other sources of income, that was not going to be enough. So it was trying to help prepare people for what was also coming down the pipeline. So, it was a rough tax season for some people who didn't make much money, because they had, with the filings even this year based on last year, from all of that coming through, because yes, they knew the taxes were coming in and there was going to be bill payments from discussions with me, but at the end of the day, they still needed to spend it, right, to get there. So a lot of my business owners, for example, we could do a lot of planning knowing that was coming. And so we would have looked at the compensation models a little differently, make sure your tax brackets could be in the lower tax bracket. Maybe we could defer some income from one period to the next and kind of smooth it over periods and whatnot, and just figure out a way where they'd be okay. And that was one of the beauties with business owners, that it gives me a lot of opportunity to be able to help to do some tax planning for them, so you can be more tax efficient and keep more of that money in your pocket.
Wow. So be more tax efficient, keep more money in your pocket. And for those of you watching, this is Kelly Ross, who is a CPA. And if you guys have questions about taxes, this is the individual you absolutely want to talk to, because like Kelly mentioned earlier, if you missed it, 10 years of experience as a CPA, at least. Your mom was a CPA? Was your mom a CPA? Or?
She wasn't a CPA, but she was in the accounting realm, which is where I got my love for numbers.
Wow. And then you have what, 2 practices, I think, right?
I do. So I have one in Oakville.
Wow.
And I'm talking to you from my downtown Toronto office. So we're at Bathurst and Bloor down here. This location actually very much is specialized into the
honest heads.
Yep, that's right. That's right. So we're known for the arts and entertainment industry here in Toronto. We understand the industry very well, and we are able to do a lot of planning around that, based on that. Extra deductions that a lot of other fields can't necessarily take. Those are things we understand very well. We work very closely with agents and business managers. So we know the full effects, as well as we're very, very heavily involved with ACTRA. I actually speak with them in town halls and whatnot to keep them all up to date on different things and help them liaison with the government on various matters.
Well, that's interesting, because, Kelly, we have a business community here. Some folks are just getting started in business. I just want to learn, from other members, what do I do? So we have some members that have probably exited some of their companies and sold them for 20, 30 mil or more. In fact, we have somebody here who just helped a 25-year-old start a company. It's called Knowledge Hook, if you get a chance to see it. It's only been there for 4 or 5 years, and they were just valued as $600 million by folks, and right here in Toronto, right? So we have a lot of pretty amazing entrepreneurs in this group. You mentioned arts and entertainment and film. I think film. Because I thought we talk about home-based entrepreneurs like me, but so how did you get into helping folks in that specific category?
So my Oakville practice is actually where I started out opening up, and that's not specialized in that department. So a lot of ones that hit that cue of what you just mentioned there. In there, and that's how I really started out. Now my Toronto practice, I actually purchased the practice from Brian Bortz, who is very actively involved in the industry, and he is a wealth of entertainment. He was actually known as the honest Eds of accounting down here in this area. So you get the expertise in the practice, but for a fair price. So you're not paying the enormous amounts that you'd be paying at the large firms, but you're getting a lot of that knowledge base that you would have received there. And you're getting a lot of attention as you need it from the various folks within. We've got an amazing team here. So that's how I got the book of business that was here, and we're continuing to grow it as I'm here. And the reason I chose to purchase this practice was because I have a love for the arts and entertainment industry. Also, so while I might have been a hockey mom, I also was a dancer when I was young, and I've been.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I've been dancing since I was 3 years old, and I danced competitively. My girls actually were introduced to dance as well at a very young age, and they loved that as well. My father's a musician, so that's where that side of it comes in. And then the sports too. Sports is part of entertainment. So it really encompasses all those different aspects. So it was a really great fit. And I was so pleased when Brian chose me to be the one as a successor here. Because I know the list was really long on the people that he was interviewing and choosing to sell to. So it was an honor to be chosen.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Your influence from your mom for to be in accounting business, your dad's influence in music.
Yes.
You know, I know we're talking about business, we're talking about accounting. I really want, you know, the folks to get to know like a little more about yourself, and thank you for sharing, because business is more than just making money, right? And you're being influenced by your parents. The legacy they've been able to leave, right, is incredible, isn't it? What would you say to some of the folks who are watching right now? Like, you know, I see some here like, wow, you know, somebody says super moms and so on. Like, what would you share, Kelly, with some of the folks who are watching right now? What's important to you then as a mom? What kind of legacy do you want to leave for your kids?
The legacy I want is I really want them to know that there's different aspects of your life that you got to go into. Number one, you have to be happy.
Wow.
And I really want, and this goes even beyond my children, it goes to my clients as well, even, it's be happy, find out what makes you happy, and find a way to make a career out of that.
I love it.
Right? And you can embrace those different aspects of, think of what you're good at, think of what you love, and bring those together and find something you enjoy. And if you do, you're going to love waking up every day and going to work. It's not going to seem like a job.
Wow. Happiness. How many of us right now can use more happiness? Right?
I think everyone can.
Everyone,
really.
Right?
Especially through COVID. My goodness, everybody's kind of been spinning out, and I don't see people as cheery and happy as I would have seen them before. So if you take anything away from this one, find your happy.
Yeah. I love that, because, you know, before we came on this interview, I thought Kelly's going to tell me or tell us about, well, we got this client we made happy because they weren't expecting a tax refund and they got this big fat check, right? And you made them happy, but you're talking even beyond that, like doing things that truly actually make you happy. Because how many, Kelly, do you think this is true? Because they say that a lot of people have jobs or businesses, they're not happy, they're just doing it. Do you see that in some of your clients? Not that I'm saying like there's anything wrong like with these clients. Like, do you find sometimes that clients are doing things, they're successful, they're making money, but they're not really happy with it?
I see that a lot. I see a lot of the frustrations, and sometimes it compiles. And a lot of time, I'll tell you, I've noticed, because I've started to pay attention to this more, those people who are more negative, I've actually watched their businesses go down.
Wow.
Because the more negative they start to become, it goes into everything you do.
Wow.
And when you're happy and you're positive about everything that's going on, it just naturally just happens.
Wow.
And the good kind of just comes. And even though you can be stressed out about where the dollar is coming from tomorrow, if you go into it with a good heart and you're happy about it, and you're saying, you know what, and you're positive about it, you know what, it's going to come. Guess what? It's going to come.
You got to do what you love, right? You know, you got to. I worked for Cooper's and Lybrand years ago.
Yeah.
For I think a year, and I realized it wasn't what I wanted to do, and so I became a real estate agent, became an entrepreneur. So I think it's so important for people to find in life as soon as you can, especially our kids. Like, do what you love. If you want to be a hockey player, be a hockey player. If you want to dance, dance. Right? How many of us people suggest to us, you should be a lawyer, you should be a doctor, you should be something. But I think the message you're sharing is do what you love.
Yes. Don't let somebody else tell you what that is. You need to find it.
Okay. Don't let someone, if one of our interns are watching, can you guys do me a favor? Can you say that quote again?
Yes.
What did you say?
Don't let someone else tell you. I guess we could add in the context of that. Don't let someone else tell you what to do. You need to figure out what it is that's going to make you happy.
Wow, that's amazing. So I hope one of our interns are watching. And if you could do me a favor one more time, like don't let someone else tell you what to do.
Yes.
Don't
let someone else tell you what will make you happy or what to do. You need to find your happy to figure out what you need to do.
That's amazing. So I hope somebody's writing that down. If not, I'm going to circle back to you, Kelly, with your permission. What we like to do with our team is every interview, especially with a special guest like yourself, we try to like maybe take something you said that blows us away, and that one actually blew me away. We want to make like maybe a little Instagram post with it.
Sure.
Yeah. So great with your permission to do that. Well, this is absolutely amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here. Let me ask you this. If some of the folks who are watching, Ola says happiness is key. Yeah. Who would you say would be your ideal client? If somebody's watching right now, could you maybe make a suggestion of some of our members who are watching? Who are some of the ideal clients that you work with that maybe should be reaching out to you if they have any questions?
Well, right now, my big focus is in the arts and entertainment industry. Anybody who's looking for accountants to support them, and it doesn't matter what stage you're at, because really, right from the get-go, even if you're looking at trying to switch over even from being a sole proprietor to an incorporated business and you don't know what that right timing is, we can tell you when it is. Even though incorporations cost more money and bring us more revenue, there's many a times I tell people, not yet.
Not yet.
It's not time yet.
Well, I want to incorporate. So you just, okay.
Yeah, but sometimes I'll say, no, come on, it's time. You got to get going. Look at how much we can save at this point once we do the switchover. So there's different reasons to do those. And those are conversations I'm happy to have with people, as well as even those conversations around the different cross-border stuff. So there's very few accountants out there that can do both sides of the border. And I have a wonderful team that is so great at talking both sides of that border to help you understand the tax implications, because they are very different on both sides.
Wow, that's amazing. You know, we have Lauren Cohan, who's also a lifetime member here, and she is a realtor originally from Toronto. She's been in Florida forever, and she's always talking about cross-border investing.
Yes.
Love to connect you with Lauren. You know, here at Land for Success, we're all about how can we serve each other and connect, right? Provide opportunity to connect. Like right now, if you're watching, you have an opportunity to connect with Kelly Ross, right? Kelly, I've got a selfish question I'd like to ask, if that's okay.
Sure. Sure.
Land for Success. What you're a lifetime member here at Land for Success.
Yes.
What's the question I'm asking? What do you like? Is there anything you like? What inspired you to become a member? Maybe that's the question. Was there anything that helped you make a decision to become a member here, and why?
Yes, because there are so many people. So I was kind of sneaking around, trying to look around and check it out before I made a decision, of course, because that's what I do. And and I got to say, I was very impressed. And what I was impressed with was the value I was starting to see, and the type of things you stood for, and just the whole ambiance of the various members. It's just the type, I always say, you got to surround yourself with like-minded people. And I find that that's what I saw when I was going through there. And I'm a big believer in connections and helping people. And I actually felt like this was an environment where I could really see a lot of that happening. And you know what, as a collective group, I could see so much good coming out of it.
Wow, I love that. And we're new and we're still growing and we're still finding, right? Kind of a group, but I like that. Just listening to you for a second, I got to ask you a question. I was thinking of just listening to you talk, right? About surrounding yourself with the right people and so on. When it comes to personal development, is that something that's important for you, personal development? Is there
you've got to be working on yourself all the time.
Is there an author or a book in the personal development space that has influenced you the most?
No, I wouldn't say there is right now. My biggest influence, honestly, has been life.
Life.
Yeah.
Biggest lesson, right?
Yeah, it's been the different stages of my life and different things that have come across that have forced me to adapt into different things. And there's been some lovely people along the way that have really helped me deal with some of those challenges that have come up at different aspects. And they've really helped me turn into more of this happy and positive person as different time frames have gone on. That I got to say, it's amazing. And you've just got to really look at those life experiences as just what they are, experiences. And you learn from them. And you learn
nothing
from
replaces life experiences, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like your kids right now, right? Think of you taking the time to spend with them in hockey rinks 24/7 or whatever their passion is. Those are incredible life experiences you're providing them.
Yeah. They're memories they're going to have forever. And you know what? So will I. They've been memories that have come into play for me too. And I'm enjoying every minute along with them.
Wow, I love it. Love it. Kelly, in Oakville, a good friend of mine, Haley Patry. Do you know Haley?
I follow her on Instagram.
You follow her? Have you met her?
I have not met her yet. No.
I'd like to introduce you to Haley. And again, this is all about connecting here. Haley's program she's a happiness coach.
Yeah.
Amazing. And Haley and I often talk about, in business, if you're not happy at work, how can you be happy at home? If you're not happy at home, how can you be happy? How can you be happy at work? So it's pretty cool. And Haley's going to be providing some incredible training for our members here in Light Up for Success as well.
Wonderful.
So before we wrap up, I got 3 questions for you. Would that be okay?
Sure.
All right, just so folks can get to know you a little bit. So I'm going to put you on the spot. All right. So question number 1: what is your favorite color?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you it's black. I know it's a shade and it's not a color, but it's still my go-to. And if I have to choose a color, I love.
Yeah, see the color back here. See the logo.
Yes.
Well, I hear it's a very professional color. Right?
Yes.
A lot of professionals like to wear black. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so ice cream. If you had a favorite ice cream that you could pick, what would be your favorite ice cream?
So it's going to sound really boring, but I do love my strawberry ice cream.
Amazing. Yeah. Strawberry ice cream. Love that. Now, the last question. This is a tough one. Okay. If you could wave a magic wand right now, if you had a magic wand, you could wave it, and you could do one thing for Kelly, not for somebody else, because I know, we talked about it already. Just the last half hour. Like, you're always thinking about how can I serve my clients? How can I help somebody else? How can I help my family? You're always thinking about somebody else. So for this question, I want you to think about if you could wave a magic wand right now, and there was one thing you can do right now with Kelly, what would you do?
I would definitely be on a beach somewhere in the Caribbean, relaxing on a lawn chair with a drink in my hand.
That would be incredible. You know, this time last year, well, not this time last year, but February. So February 2020.
Yeah.
March 2020, we had our February 2020, we had our first Landing for Success live event. And in February, I was actually in Jamaica.
Oh, wow.
So I'll introduce you to a friend of mine here in Toronto. And so she is the CEO and founder of the Think and Grow Rich Institute in the Caribbean. So she grew up in Jamaica, very poor. And she has literally taken the principles of Think and Grow Rich, of thoughts or things when you think about, right? And has a very successful business here. And we did a Think and Grow Rich retreat in Jamaica.
Wow.
In Jamaica, right? So I'm thinking, Kelly, can you imagine if Landing for Success, some of our authors, right? Some of the members, what if 30 or 40 of us go to Jamaica and we can bring our families if we want, stay like an all-inclusive resort. We spend maybe 20% of the time learning and masterminding, right? Surrounding ourselves with other people who can lift us up. And the other 80% is about sitting on that beach like you talked about.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. And well, last question then. If we did do that, is that a business trip or is that a vacation?
So it would be a business trip.
Okay.
For whoever's taking part in those sessions.
Okay.
The other family members would not be write-offs.
That's incredible. See, that's why we needed you here. And prior to COVID, you know, Rosetta, actually, we did two things. We actually had a cruise.
Yes.
We actually had a cruise. And so once a year we had a cruise, and once a year we had a retreat in Jamaica.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, sign me up. Those are coming.
Yeah, we'll let you know when those are coming. So that's pretty exciting. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching again. This is Kelly Ross, our special guest here, lifetime member here at Landing for Success. And as a CPA, if you guys have any questions about taxes, don't call me, okay? Call Kelly. And you can leave a comment below, or you can reach out to us, okay? Send us an email at info@landingforsuccess.com, or send us reach out to us by email, by social media, and our team will be more than happy to connect you with Kelly. And the last Thursday of every month, people are asking, like, when's your meetup online? It's the last Thursday of every month. So it's easy to remember. So you can come and meet individuals like Kelly, right? And at the end of each session, we have a 30-minute live Q&A. So whether it's JJ Canton, the founder, or some of our gifting sponsors, other members, or come and ask questions. The whole idea is, you know, if you can walk away with an event and meet one person like Kelly, would it be worth your time? I think the answer, yes, 100%. Okay, so our next one is next Thursday. I hope to see you there. So before we wrap up, Kelly, do you have any final thoughts you would like to leave with the folks here before we go?
Really, the final thoughts was just around, you know what, just find your happy. That's really my big line is, I got to say, is find your happy. And also make sure that you're not creating a ceiling for yourself. Break through those ceilings that have been created for you by other people, even created by yourself, thinking that you can't go any further. You can, and you will, if you believe it.
That's absolutely incredible. Find you happy and just keep going. Love it. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. And everyone, thank you so much for being here. And until the next time, everyone have an amazing day.